A father in Florida had to call 911 because his infant son was locked inside his Tesla Model 3 on an 80-degree day, and every door handle had stopped working. That is just one of 140 such cases, but the door handles are just the start of what Tesla does not want you finding out about the Model 3. Number 1. The Model 3 has electronic door handles. You already know that. A lot of you have asked me about this in the comments, and what I found is worse than I expected. NHTSA opened a formal investigation in September 2025 after 16 complaints of those exterior handles going completely dead. And when I say dead, I mean you are standing outside your own car and you cannot get in. Or worse, your kid is inside and they cannot get out. The investigation covers roughly 174,000 Model 3 sedans from 2017 through 2022. In 4 documented cases, parents had to smash their own windows to pull children out in the heat. One owner in Santa Barbara had fire crews respond to a baby screaming and drenched in sweat. Another owner named Kevin Clowes in Atlanta filed a federal safety complaint after he was trapped inside a burning Model 3 and had to climb to the back seat and kick out the rear window with his legs to escape while the interior was on fire. By December 2025, NHTSA opened a second investigation specifically into the 2022 Model 3 emergency release handles, covering another 179,000 vehicles. Tesla's chief designer publicly admitted that they are working on a new button that works both electronically and by hand. I personally think that admission tells you everything. They know the current design is a safety problem and they are working on a fix. But every Model 3 on the road right now still has the old design. So if you are buying used, you need to understand that the manual emergency release on the front doors is a hidden mechanical latch near the bottom of the door panel, and your passengers will not know it exists unless you show them. But the door handles are a problem you can at least prepare for. The next one gives you zero warning. Number 2. In April 2022, China's safety regulator forced Tesla to recall 127,000 Model 3 sedans after a rear motor inverter defect caused complete loss of drive power. The trigger was a Model 3 cruising at 60 miles per hour on a Chinese highway when the screen flashed a warning that the car could no longer drive. The accelerator went dead in mid-traffic. Tesla notified NHTSA about the Chinese recall. 34,000 of the affected cars were built in the United States. But they never issued a matching American recall. Those cars are still on American roads right now with the same defect, and there is no software fix. When this inverter fails, it trips something called the pyrofuse. That is a one-shot explosive disconnect that cuts the high-voltage battery from the rest of the car. Once it fires, your 12-volt system drains to zero in about 15 minutes. A UK owner whose Model 3 failed at 60 on autopilot wrote that he had about 15 minutes before the entire car was dead. His advice to other owners was to keep the doors open immediately so you are not locked in or out of the vehicle when the 12-volt dies. So what are you supposed to do when your car bricks at 60 on a highway? According to this owner, your first move is propping the doors open before you lose the ability to open them at all. I have never seen another automaker recall a car in one country for a defect that bricks the drivetrain and then just skip the recall in the country where those same cars were built. That is not a gray area. That is a choice. But the China recall is not even the worst thing Tesla has tried to keep quiet. This next one involves internal documents that were never supposed to go public. Number 3. This one made me angry when I found it. In 2023, Reuters got their hands on thousands of internal Tesla documents going back to 2016. And what they found is that Tesla had the data. They knew their control arms, suspension links, half shafts, and steering racks were failing way too fast. By their own numbers, the warranty costs in Norway alone could have bankrupted the company. But instead of recalling the parts, they sent out a memo in 2019 telling technicians to blame the driver. Anything to keep Tesla from paying for the repair. I had a 2020 Model 3 come through the shop last year with a clunking front end at 52,000 miles. Upper control arms were shot. The owner told me Tesla service quoted him the repair as out of warranty wear and tear. On a car with 52,000 miles, calling that wear and tear is insulting. That is a defective part. And this is not just older cars wearing down. A man in Cambridge, England had his 2023 Model Y's front suspension collapse during a slow neighborhood turn at 115 miles on the odometer. His wife and 3-year-old were in the car. Tesla blamed it on prior external influenced damage. I need you to hear that phrase again, prior external influenced damage. On a car with 115 miles. The repair was around $14,000. On the Model 3, Tesla's first recall covered lateral link bolts that were not tightened enough at the factory on 2019 through 2021 cars. 39 cases of loose or missing bolts existed before they finally recalled it. Then a second recall added 2018 cars after 25 more claims. But the upper control arm ball joints are the real story. Tesla has quietly revised that part through revisions E, F, G, H, and J without ever issuing a recall. They just keep shipping revised control arms and hoping nobody notices. I have seen this exact playbook from other manufacturers, and it always ends the same way. Eventually, somebody pulls the service records and the pattern is right there. But failing suspension parts are at least something a good mechanic can catch during an inspection. The next problem is invisible until it leaves you freezing. Number 4. In February 2022, Tesla issued a heat pump recall after firmware they pushed in December 2021 basically forgot to tell the heat pump valve to close. Below about 14 degrees Fahrenheit, refrigerant got trapped in the evaporator, the compressor stopped, and cabin heat and windshield defrost both died completely. That is a federal safety standard violation because you literally cannot see out of your own windshield. Tesla pushed a firmware fix. The problem is that owners kept losing heat after installing it. Forum posts from that same winter show Model Y owners with the updated firmware still getting no heat in extreme cold. Tesla's fix did not fully fix it. The out-of-warranty repair costs on this system are where it gets painful. A Model 3 owner in Quebec had both his PTC heater and super bottle fail at the same time in February 2023, just 1,148 miles past the Canadian warranty limit. Tesla quoted him $2,158. He filed in small claims court, and Tesla called him a month before trial and settled in full. A Toronto owner got hit with a bill for over 5,000 Canadian dollars for a compressor and octovalve replacement. If you are buying a used Model 3 in a cold climate, budget for the possibility that the entire thermal system needs work. Because when it fails, you are not getting a $500 repair. You are getting a multi-thousand-dollar one, and Tesla will fight you on warranty coverage down to the last mile. Now, if the heating system failing sounds expensive, wait until you hear what happened to owners who paid up to $15,000 for a feature their car physically cannot deliver. Number 5. On Tesla's first quarter 2026 earnings call, Elon Musk said it publicly. Hardware 3 cannot do unsupervised full self-driving. Those were his exact words. He said the computer only has about an eighth of the processing power it actually needs. That means every Model 3 built before roughly mid-2023 with HW3, and that is a massive chunk of the fleet, is running a self-driving computer that Tesla now admits will never do what they sold it to do. Owners paid anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 for full self-driving over the years on those cars. Tesla is now offering a retrofit to HW4 for another $3,000 to $5,000, and they are building micro-factories to handle the volume of swaps needed. I want to be clear about my opinion on this. If you sell someone a feature for $15,000 and then years later say, actually, your hardware cannot do that, but we will upgrade you for another $5,000, you just admitted you charged people for something you could not deliver. A federal judge agreed. In August 2025, a class action lawsuit moved forward because Tesla never had the sensors needed for the self-driving they promised. If you are looking at a used Model 3 that has full self-driving on the window sticker, check whether it is HW3 or HW4. On HW3, you are paying for supervised assist features only, no matter what the original buyer was promised. But Tesla's handling of complaints goes deeper than any single feature. There is a whole system built to make sure your concerns never reach a technician. Number 6. This next one is my favorite story in this entire video, and I do not mean that in a good way. Reuters found out that about 10 years ago, Musk personally told his team to rag the dashboard to show better range numbers whenever the battery was above half charge. We are not talking about a software bug here. Musk made a choice to show you better numbers than your car could actually deliver. When the complaints started piling up, Tesla had two options: fix the numbers or make the complaints disappear. They went with option 2. They set up a team in Las Vegas called the diversion team, whose job was to close about 750 complaints a week. If you called about your range and did not pick up on the first callback, your case got closed. If you did pick up, they told you your car is fine without running a single check. And every time an agent canceled a service appointment, the whole team struck a xylophone and applauded. Each canceled appointment saved Tesla about $1,000. I have been doing this channel for a while now, and I have covered some shady manufacturer behavior. But celebrating with a xylophone every time you dodge helping a customer, that is a new one for me. The EPA eventually forced Tesla to lower their range numbers by about 3%. South Korean regulators fined them for false advertising. A class action followed in California. If you have been getting value out of this video, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss what we cover next on this channel. The range issue matters, but for a lot of buyers, the bigger financial shock comes after a fender bender. Number 7. I had a customer come in a few months ago with a repair estimate that did not make any sense. A fist-sized dent above his driver's side rear quarter panel on a Model 3, $12,000. The car was worth $32,000. In California, the way the state calculates total losses meant anything over about $2,000 in damage could total it. His car was totaled. It was over a dent you could cover with your hand. I have also seen estimates on a side-struck 2022 Model Y, where the retail value was $72,000, and the repair came back at $43,000. That is 60% of the car's value for a side hit. The reason repair costs run this high is a combination of aluminum body panels that cannot be straightened the normal way, parts that only Tesla sells, and service center labor rates that keep climbing. Sandy Munro, the manufacturing analyst who tears down cars for a living, has said publicly that structural battery packs on certain Tesla models are going straight to the grinder after an accident. The Model 3 does not use a structural pack, that is the Texas-built Model Y and the Cybertruck, but Model 3 battery replacements still run $13,000 to $20,000 through Tesla service. Parts back orders make it worse. A Colorado owner waited 3 months for a single back-ordered body panel while paying $1,000 a month in loan and insurance payments on a car sitting in a shop he could not drive. If you are buying a Model 3, call your insurance company first and get a quote before you commit. Tesla repair costs directly affect what you pay every month for coverage, and the number might change your math on the whole purchase. But the repair costs are only part of the problem. There is a reason Tesla gets away with all of this, and it comes down to one word on your service invoice. Number 8. There is a practice Tesla uses that I think every buyer needs to understand. When your Model 3 has a defect and Tesla fixes it, they often classify the repair as goodwill instead of warranty. That sounds like a nice gesture, but it is a strategy. When Tesla fixes something under warranty, that repair gets logged. And if the same problem shows up enough times across enough cars, NHTSA can step in and force a recall. But when Tesla calls that same repair goodwill instead of warranty, it basically disappears from the system. So your peeling steering wheel, your leaking trunk, your yellow screen, Tesla can fix all of those and stamp every invoice with goodwill, and nobody at NHTSA ever sees a pattern forming. A lawyer who has sued Tesla put it simply: by changing one word on your service invoice, Tesla makes it look like their cars break less than they actually do. That one word is what keeps them under the line where the federal regulators step in. This is why I wanted to end on this one. Once you understand the goodwill trick, every recall, every service invoice, and every forum post in this video makes more sense. The pattern is always the same. Tesla knows about it, fixes it quietly when pushed, and the tracking system never sees a trend. They are not ignoring these problems. They are managing them, one goodwill repair at a time, to keep the numbers below the threshold where federal regulators step in. If you are thinking about buying a Model 3, go in with your eyes open and make sure Tesla puts every repair on warranty, not goodwill. And if you already own one, go watch our video on 7 Tesla accessories that are secretly destroying your car. Number 4 on that list is something I see on almost every Tesla that rolls through the shop, and the owners have no clue it is causing damage.